Friends of ours. I'll tell you all about them in a short while. But while you're here, why don't we kick everything off with two amazing individuals, two people who have triumphed over adversity. Okay, Mr. Seth Kwao Yeboah Ocran is our first unique achiever today. Now, things started going wrong as soon as he turned 14, just at the time that he gained admission to St. Augustine's College in Cape Coast to pursue his secondary education. In quick succession, his mother passed away while he was in first year, which really adversely affected his father. His father, who was responsible for him and his 21 other siblings. No surprise, his father also passed on when he was in Form 2. So with both parents gone, life became rough. Support from his older siblings and extended family wasn't enough to see him through secondary education. He had to quit. His first option was to be a trotro mate for close to 2 years while he worked hard to learn driving. So 2 years passed, 2 fruitless years. Young Yeboah realized that, well, the money he made as a mate just wasn't going to cut it. So he gained some amateur skills in driving. He worked for a while at Department of Urban Roads as a laborer, but he wasn't fulfilled. After remaining jobless for a while, following his resignation from Urban Roads, Mr. Ocran engaged in all kinds of business just to survive. He drove, he sold textbooks. He went as far as Wa with his textbook selling business. He did some gold and retail business, all to make ends meet. Investments that he had made from the gains in these ventures, well, these investments ended disastrously. Mr. Ocran finally got a job as a driver with VanEff Europe car. VanEff Europe car. This happened in 1996, and this is when the story began to change. With only 500 Ghana cedis, Mr. Ocran managed to buy a car on hire purchase. The car was valued at about 1,300 Ghana cedis. He had a guarantee from a car dealer to start what is now the 3-time award-winning YOKS Investments. It's won the best car rental company for the year 2012 at the National Tourism Awards held at the State Banquet Hall. And of course, it's also won it's won the Ghana Business and Financial Excellence Awards at the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, and it won that for 2012. This is a thriving industry. He has several vehicles in his fleet, over 55 luxurious cars. 55 cars. All right, but I suppose if you're wondering how a human being can achieve such an amazing feat after only 2 years in secondary school, then maybe you'll understand when I tell you that those 2 years were spent in Augusco. Seth, congratulations on an amazing turnaround. In fact, your story is so inspiring. I can't get over it. You had to drop out of school, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been difficult.
Yes, difficult decision to make at the time. Good morning, Kojo, and good morning to your listeners.
Good morning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm still in shock. I can't believe what I'm reading. Okay, you managed all this in a space of how many years?
13 years.
13
down the
years.
line.
My word. Tell me about it. Tell me about the day when you literally had to walk out of your dormitory in one of the best schools in the country. How did you feel?
Kojo, I would like to start by quoting 3 of my favorite quotes.
Quote away.
From a book written by John C. Maxwell. And I quote, he said, "Personal breakthroughs begin with a change in your beliefs. Why? Because you believe, your beliefs determine your expectation, and your expectation determines your actions. A belief is a habit of mind in which confidence becomes a conviction that we embrace." Attorney Kenny Randall said, and I quote, "Life does not get better by chance. Life gets better by change, and this change always takes place inside. It is the change of thought that creates the better life." I thank you very much for your wonderful intro. And I would say that life wasn't easy, for me to make that decision. But I have to, because you have to take a decision, and somebody said failing even to take a decision itself is a decision. So I realized that was the option available. Like you said, I did any job that comes my way, including selling textbooks, trading in sales. I have to do anything to survive. The intention was to gather money and go back to school.
Okay.
But it got to a point that I realized that I wasn't making that enough money that can sustain me and go back to school. So life continued, and by God's grace, you can say glory be to God, because for me, I have 3 values, which are integrity, believing in yourself, and humility. And these things have really worked for me over the years. Yes, I started YOKS car rental and tour operators at the time, 2001, 18 January. And with one vehicle, at the time, it was priced at 1,300 cedis.
What car was this?
Nissan Primera, a red Nissan Primera.
Wow.
Yes. And the gentleman, Blackie, the car dealer who even guarantee is still around, and I still see him all the time. And
that's amazing.
It's amazing, And I went to Blackie and I said, listen, I'll buy this car. I didn't go there as somebody who don't have money, with all the confidence. And he said, oh no, 500 cedis at the time, 5 million, you can't buy a vehicle. But anyway, let me introduce you to the owner of that vehicle, which is called Jarvis. Then he lives at a shaman, if, he can. And true, I was able to go through that deal. I got a car, but I have 2 weeks because I was working at Vanef Europe car, and the car I was driving at the time breaks down each day. And I was working with this Canadian lady called Louise Grenier, who was then working as a consultant for Ghana Highways Authority. And it got to a point that the lady said, listen, I didn't come to Ghana to, sign off my life. It looks like your company are not coming forth with what I wanted. So I'll opt for another rental company. In fact, when I went home that day, I got up around 2 a.m. and something dawned on me that why not tell this lady that, listen, you can buy a vehicle and you rent from you. So the next morning I told Louis, why not buy a car and you can rent from me, which will be reliable. Because of my experience in trading, selling textbooks and doing all that, I have some knowledge. And even Vanef, I work in different departments as customer sales executive, they call it at the time. Driver, at point, I assist the fleet manager. So I have an idea. So I was assisting this woman, not only driving her in the office. So when I make this proposal that, listen, I can buy a vehicle and you rent from me. So I'll consult with my company in Copenhagen if they accept, why not? 2 days after, she came back and said, listen, it's green, go ahead if you can do it. But I'm taking my leave, which is coming back in a month's time, so you should have the car ready, by which time my arrangement with Vanef would have expired. So I have a month to
buy this car.
And, my little savings that I have, I was able to get 500 cedis. I went to town one morning that I'm going to buy a vehicle. And true, I was able to meet Blackie and saw that car, said, I wanted to buy this car, and we negotiated. He took me to the owner. When we got there, the man saw me and he said, listen, I want to help you, but your 500 cedis, I'm going back to Holland. If you can do 1,000. I said, listen, I can't do 1,000, but I can pay you the remaining balance within 2 months. And he was like, okay, why not give me a checkbook, posited check for the cover? I didn't have a checkbook at the time, know. So I said, okay, you know what? Register the car in your name still, keep the spare key, and give me 2 months. If I'm not able to pay, come back for your vehicle. So that was the deal, and he gave me the vehicle. At the time, there's not even air conditioning in the vehicle, and all I have on me, I've used it to pay the man. But I took the car, and a friend of mine called Doris, then working at Novotel, gave me $200. So I changed that $200. I was able to fix air conditioning, register the vehicle. 3 days to the car was ready, and I resigned from Vanef.
Wow.
I wrote to VANEF and quit. And I give them, I was giving them notices about the intention of the lady and all that. So I quit and then started with the lady. It's a beginning of a lot of things to happen. At the time, VANEF lawyer was Captain Nkrabia Efadate. Wrote to me that they will sue the lady, she have abrogated contract and so forth and so forth. So this why she began to panic. She's going to go to court, and I said, listen, we can go through this because I have records of what I've been reporting to my office, and I have resigned officially. So so it was my first time. I walked to Fuga. I was looking for a lawyer, so I went to this Fuga office and I said I want a lawyer, and I was introduced to a lady called Rosemary. Currently, she resigned recently. Was the head of legal department with UT Bank. She was, according to her, also I was her first client from school. So she wrote to VANEF, and we were able to resolve that case. I move on, and 2003, I remember very well, there was this U.S. Sister City conference that was first time in Africa, was held in Ghana. And the country coordinator was Prince Kwame Krugerson, and I was bidding for that project. Kojo, at the time, I have printed my brochures, my receipt book, my contract book, everything is in the boot of my car, the car that I drive, So whatever I get, I'm ready to go. So I sent a proposal to Mr. Krugerson that I want to provide the ground transportation for the event, which we're talking about close to 400 participants, including 6 mayors from America.
Wow.
And, I always believe that, why can't I do it? I can do it. So, true, I was able to got that contract and provide that service. It was the springboard, or that was the beginning of the name YOKS Car Rentals coming into the limelight.
Wow. Seth Kwao Yeboah Ocran telling a story that many wouldn't believe if the evidence wasn't right there in the form of awards won from prestigious organizations and a 55 car fleet, which is thriving today in Ghana. Listen, this guy took 2 years from Ogasco and turned it into an empire. All right. Now you see, I wonder if you understand what you've just heard. Okay, this guy started with nothing. So that means he started with what you have. Nothing. Okay, and he took that and turned it into something. How many people do you employ now?
I have 100 workers.
Yeah. All right. That could be you. Wherever you're sitting right now, you could be an employer of 100 workers if you start with nothing, as long as you don't stop. All right? Okay, we'll be hearing more from Seth and our other unique achiever. Now, this guy, he be hard guy. Right, 37 minutes past 7 right here on the Super Morning Show with Kojo Yankson. And today's unique achievers are unbelievable. Okay, we've just met Mr. Seth Kwao Yeboah Ocran, an APSU, who came out after 2 years in St. Augustine's College and, well, as a result of hardship, worked as a trotro mate for close to 2 years. Today, he owns what is undoubtedly the finest luxury car rental company in Ghana, YOKS Investment Limited. I've just been flipping through a brochure that he gives to his clients, and this thing is bound in felt. It's printed on the finest photo paper, and it makes Ghana look good. It's actually called Best of Ghana. Look, this is better work than the whole Ministry of Tourism has ever done to promote Ghana, and it's all in one book that he gives to his customers. I can't stop. I can't even begin to tell you how impressed I am by you, Seth. You're doing amazing work. But you see, if you are impressed by Seth, you will be inspired by David Kanji. David Kanji has been selling recharge cards for the past 5 years. Okay, he started selling them during his polytechnic days back in 2009. selling on the street. Okay, now this became necessary for David after several attempts to secure a job at banks and insurance companies failed. David Kanji's parents have both died. He's the 7th of 8 children. There's a theme running here, big families, no providers. David's quest to liberate himself through education has not been easy. From lower primary through to junior high, it's been a tough experience, but still David looks up with hope. David's father and mother died while he was in junior high school level 2, and that marked the beginning of his long and tiring effort to break through the walls of formal education. He raised 100 yam mounds for farmers at in Sumuru, in Chumuru district.
West.
Yeah, in Chumuru district. Okay, and he did all of this 100 yam mounds for 1 Ghana cedi in what they call the work and pay system. He managed to fund the remaining 1 year of his junior high education at Inchumuruman Presbyterian Secondary Senior High School. Okay, and sometimes he had to sit in class the whole day without anything in his rumbling stomach. He studied. He raised more yam and cassava mounds on other people's farms. He owed his school almost everybody he owed money to. But eventually, he managed to complete senior high school to enable him enter the Polytechnic to take his higher national diploma, HND, in marketing. And then, of course, he didn't stop there. From there, he came to Accra. And he kept working. After Jones had several menial jobs that paid a pittance as a salary, he decided to sell mobile recharge cards because people will always recharge their mobile phones, according to his own philosophy. And this is what he's been doing. Right now, he's at GIMPA. Am I right, David?
Of course.
You see, for me, I'm so glad we've got 2 examples like you with us, Seth and David. Because, you see, Seth is an example of what can happen to you if you remain doing what David does. David is the process. Seth is the reward. And I want to demonstrate these 2 to you because it should tell you that no matter what your situation is, you can make it. And it starts with change. Yes. As Seth said, whatever it is that you think, whatever it is that you do every day, you have to change it like David did. David,
sir,
what a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much.
You have clawed your way into GIMPA.
Of course.
And you haven't stopped. You sell mobile recharge cards on the street.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about when you came to Accra and what led to this decision to hit the streets with recharge cards.
Well, good morning to your cherished listening, and thank you for the wonderful intro. And all started when I completed junior high school. My parents are all dead, and I need to further, and I need to break a change in my life. And in a family, I'm the only one who, when my parents were around, they were encouraging me to go to school. So this edge is in me. So I always try to move ahead. So when I completed junior high, I thought of going to secondary school. So in the process that I realized that I need to move ahead too. So 2003, I came down to Accra. So when I came to do my remedials, because when I wrote the SSC, I had 2 subjects that I need to better them in order to enter into the tertiary. So I did my remedials with the Prestige Academy. So when I wrote, I had my pass, and then from 2003 to 2008, but then there was no much money that would be able to finance me in my tertiary education. So I decided to join different kind of organizations. I worked with Intercom Security for about 7 months. Then I quit, and someone introduced me to one Indian company, and I joined them too. And I worked with them for 2.5 years. So when I realized that during 2005, this youth employment program also came, and I also joined. So during that process, I was making some savings. So and whilst making that savings, I tried this military recruits. This
you wanted to be a soldier?
Yeah. And then police too, but all failed. Every year from 2003 to 2007, I was doing that. That I thought maybe that would be a breakthrough, but all failed. And I said to myself that if this thing is not able to work out, I don't see the reason why I should fold my arms and say I should give it up. So some drive just pushed me that I can make it. So the little money that I gathered, I said I'll go to Polytechnic. So I bought the admission forms, and then fortunately I was called. I bought 2 admission forms, one for nursing training and one for Polytechnic. So fortunately 2 of them came.
Oh,
so,
you got both?
Yeah, both came.
Okay.
And I decided to go to Polytechnic, and I went to pay my fees. So first semester, the money I gathered was able to take care of me. So for the rest of the semesters, it wasn't going to be easy. So I thought of doing different things that would be able to sustain me. And I engaged someone who is into this recharge selling. In fact, I questioned him a lot, and also introduced me to how to go about doing that business. And it was like, it's very wonderful experience to join, but it's a very challenging task.
I can imagine.
Yes.
You see, for me, what I'm asking myself is this a business that is making enough to pay your fees at GIMPA?
Yeah, really, that is what is making me pay my fees. From Polytechnic to GIMPA, that is what I've been doing since.
What? So where do you stand to do your business? Where do you sell your recharge cards?
Early in the morning, I wake up at 4. So by 5:30, I should be there to make early sales. From Emmanuel Eye Clinic down to Populampo to Mensvik hotels areas there.
So you wear the high-vis jacket?
Yes, that is what I put on. It also serves as an advert. So when you put it on with the card on you, people see you and they'll call on you and then they'll buy. Sometimes, this non-communication aspect of the person might be looking at you, but the intention might not be on you. The person will be looking at you, but his mind is not on you. So you approach the person, introduce the cards to him. Before you realize, it's like, oh, let me buy.
So why did you choose that particular spot for business? Why is that? Your
mobile phone. Every Ghanaian would like to use a mobile phone, and everybody uses mobile phones, 1 or 2. And it is, when I look at the business environment, that is the fastest growing that I will be able to sustain myself in Accra. So I decided to join that business because there's no any other option than to go into that business, because every day I sell. So if you make any sale, then I decided to make some savings out of it. So it is the savings that has led me to pay all my fees.
My goodness!
So now,
this is a superhuman feat. I can assure you. But I was wondering about the area where you sell, that place. Why did you choose that area?
Early in the morning, that place, the traffic is very intense. Yeah. And people from this East Legon moving towards that direction, who are going to work, move towards that direction.
So basically, a lot of rich people stuck in one place.
Yes. So,
boy, we are smart. This is David Kanji. He's a unique achiever. He is paying his way through GIMPA, tertiary education. I mean, fees that many cannot even shoulder. This man is paying for it by selling recharge cards, okay, to people in traffic. Simple as that. Okay, he's been doing this since he was in Polytechnic. He's paid his way through his tertiary education, and he's now in the process of becoming a marketer. Is that right?
Yes.
Why marketing?
Our marketing plays a major role in our lives. People think marketing is all about selling. Everybody can go out there and sell, but marketing goes beyond that perception. You see, it's about identifying people's need and try to satisfy people with that need. Right. So when I sat down to look at the business environment, that is what is lacking. People don't pay much attention to marketing. So that is what pushed me into that marketing can create a very great impact in every organization. For the success of every organization depends on the marketing. So if the marketing team is not strong, the organization might not be efficient. So that is what pushed me into marketing.
Well, people, are you listening? Are you listening to this? Now let me ask you this. What's your situation? Do you feel sorry for yourself? Do you feel like perhaps you've been cheated in life? Do you feel that opportunities have just not come your way? Everything you've tried has failed? Do you feel like sometimes it's just a bit too difficult to make it in this world? Well, I know the feeling. Trust me, I know the feeling. But I'm talking to two people who lost their parents while they were in school. Okay? The two people that you relied on to get you through your education. The two people who are probably still alive today. They lost them. All they had left were their two hands and a brain. And they put them to work immediately, changing their situation. So look, if you are feeling sorry for yourself, my brother, snap out of it. My sister, forget about it. Change. Start now. Take your brain in your two hands and put them to work. Seth Ocran did it. David Kanji is doing it. And the results are evident. Guys, I can't even begin to say how moved we all are by this. I mean, Henry Durban, the newest boy on our team, is actually crying. I'm looking at him right now. The boy is in tears. All right, this is the power of dreams. Okay, Seth, you're now running a 55 fleet luxury car rental company. I mean, this is unbelievable. You are a shining example of what can be done when you don't give up. You were a trotro mate. So tell me, Seth, were you jumping onto moving cars?
You know, I remember when I quit, and I've kind of shy to some of my colleagues to see me. So anytime I'll be standing in isolation to see if it's our turn to load. And one time I saw two of my classmates, so I went to hide. I didn't want them to see me. You know, but you see, all these challenges, what I've learned was that, especially from VANEF, and start to do the same thing that I was a driver, I realized that in order to succeed, you must focus on structures, structures that are functionable. So I put in place good structures. And I realized that the kind of service we were doing then at VANEF, what can I do different? So I tailor-made what I was doing, focus on corporate institutions, and I need a very good resources, including human resource. What I want to say is that I have wonderful workforce team that because I believe that once I have a solid team, together we can deliver the YOKS brand, which exactly we are doing. So all the successes that you see today, I can confidently share it or give credit to my team, all the staff from the car detailing department, the drivers, protocol officers at the airport, customer care executive, and my management team, together. But the question is how I was able to let them understand my vision. And for me, I think it's just beginning. This is the beginning for greater things to happen,
Indeed.
Yeah, greater things to happen, because the tourism industry comes with a lot of potentials, which haven't harnessed yet. We aren't doing anything, but it's foreign earning, apart from cocoa, gold, and, foreign remittance. So if we focus our attention and excellent in customer service, I believe we can go a very long way as a country, and yes, because there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of potentials in the industry.
No doubt.
And I'm grateful to God, and I'm happy for my life, how far He has brought me.
Indeed. And listen, my people, it's absolutely true what Seth is saying, that tourism is a growth industry, the 4th biggest foreign exchange earner for Ghana. All right, so whatever you're doing, if you're in the tourism industry, well, let me recommend a partner to you, somebody whose quality is unsurpassed. I mean, look, all you have to do is have a look at this brochure that he's printed, this book. It's not a brochure, it's a picture book that he's printed and gives free of charge to his clients. All right, this man is serious about branding, and not just branding himself, branding Ghana. So if you're in the tourism industry, if you own a hotel or whatever it is that you're doing, here's a partner that can take you to the next level. Seth Kwao Yeboah Ocran. You heard him first right here on the Super Morning Show. Now, David, I smile every time I think about your story.
Yes.
Because you see, as for you, you are doing it.
Yes.
You are in the process of doing that thing that we're advising people to do all the time, which is persevere.
Yes.
Okay, now it can't be easy. You must have some real difficulties, balancing your recharge card business with education. And it must be difficult. But tell us finally, I mean, how is it that you are managing to do this successfully?
Hard work, commitment, discipline, and faithfulness are my guiding principle. If you are hard work and you are not committed to what you are doing, there wouldn't be any result. And you must be disciplined in all angles that you find yourself, not to be engaged in all other things that might not be good to you. So discipline and faithfulness have been my guiding principle. So in the process, God is my first thing first. God is my anchor. Every time I pray for His guidance and His strength. And it's been a difficult task, selling on the street and then studies. You close from work and you go out and prepare for a lecture. And even in the lecture hall, you are so tired. And if you are not careful, you fall asleep whilst the lecturer is lecturing. So basically, what I do is when I go early, I close by 2:00. I rest for some time, and then go back to school. So in that process, in school too, I am the course rep.
Oh my goodness! On top of everything,
yeah, student course for directions, for information, and other things. So what we did was to create a class mail for the class, so that we give out the password to everybody. So in every time the school wants to communicate to us, the information is sent to the mail, and everybody access the information.
That's an ingenious idea.
Yet, people will still call you that they've not been able to access the information. So you must also go out and then send the information back to them. So these are what I've been doing. We're going on errands, and at the end, you must put yourself in order and then steady.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Seth Kwao Yeboah Ocran, the CEO, the founder of YOKS Investments Limited. Over 55 luxurious cars, providing professional service to a number of organizations, especially those in the tourism sector, as well as oil and gas and several other industries. And David Kanji, a soldier. Even if the military didn't accept you, man, you are a soldier.
Oh, yes.
He is
never give up.
No doubt, he's patrolling the streets, running his business, selling recharge cards, and it's paying for him to achieve the most excellent education you can imagine in marketing from GIMPA. And your messages have been coming in. Here's one from Edem. Hi, Kojo. I think Augusto should make the York guy an honorary graduate. I'm going to make that happen today. All right? In fact, he is an honorary graduate. No official process required. Here's another one. When you hear inspirational stories like these, you are wowed. And when you hear that they attended Ogasco, you are absolutely charged to do the extraordinary. The message is, we all can. And that's from Bobby in Kumasi. You said it, Bobby. Samuel Kwabena Kabute also sends in a message, and he says, making a solid decision to pass through the tunnel of success makes you a wise and mature man. Standing in front of the tunnel, indecisive and with thoughts of the heat you may go through, makes you a coward and a failure. Yes, I'm in their shoes and I will one day reach my goal. I believe in you, Samuel. Apoma Boboski Isaac says, I have no excuse not to prosper in life after hearing how Mr. Ocran started. Emmanuel Blackquisi says, I am touched by their stories. Uguba Ndubisi Aka Live says, I'm inspired. Obintieku Ebenezer says, they all have 3 D's in their life: desire, determination, and diligence. Life's lessons. And finally, Evelyn Elijah Mamuzo Warika says, very inspiring and motivating stories. Thank you for inspiring